international company. So there were 3 people, and one person was like professional in the field I applied for, and one person was HR manager who asked me questions related to my personality. And also, yeah, I was given a task to do to show my professional experience and my skills. So, but it was in pedagogy and it was in education. So if you apply for the international IT company, for example, or any company who needs analytics, right?
Okay, if we're talking like, may I share my current experience about interviews?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, so for the first part of my answer, I'll tell you about my experience. I had experience with Ukrainian companies, which works for international, like for tier 1, tier 2 countries. Like they made products for users from United Kingdom, from United States, from Canada and Australia. So all their products are on English. And like interviewers, they asked me some questions on English just to check my level. Like main interview was on Ukrainian, but there was some questions on English, and they asked me like additional questions like what are my goals in life, what do I like in my life, where do I see myself in 10 years.
Yeah.
And as I know, if we are talking about like international companies in IT, they also like to ask questions not only about like hard skills experience, for example, main principles of OPA, if we're talking about like programists and some jobs remain to working with algorithms. Yeah, when we are talking about like international companies, they all are wanted to find like star players to their companies, and they asked many questions about soft skills, about diversity, about your personal like experience, about your stressfulness and other. They also like to tell you like some uh, I don't know how to say it, like uh, try to solve a problem, like if you have a conflict with your teammate, what would you do?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any stressful situation and to express yourself, how you will behave in this situation, right?
Yeah, about your behavior in different like stressful situations.
Okay, thanks, Maria, for sharing. Denise, do you have any experience in interviewing? Denise? Mm-hmm. So, several stages, right? Okay, thank you. And Adelbert, what about your experience?
I have a lot of experience being interviewed, and also I have experience being an interviewer. Uh, Typically, there are also several kinds of interviews where the candidate is asked for different skills. Uh, in my experience, there is first interview is something with HR, where they just get to know who you are and what you want from a job.
Mhm.
Then there are several technical interviews where they check what is your level of language knowledge or your technical skills, and
Mhm.
probably some design interviews where people try to see how you think and if the way in which you are thinking is suitable for the company. And at the end, there is a meeting with the CEO or some higher manager.
Mhm. Okay, thank you. So, and Adalbert, what's your career path?
What do you mean by career part?
Path or path, like шлях.
Path?
Mhm.
Uh, so I had an internship 3 years ago in a small company that developed scanners for detecting damages on fibers. And after this internship, I found my job as a junior software developer in a company that that develops its own database.
Mhm.
And uh, I guess 1 year ago I was promoted to a middle developer, and
Mhm.
then war started. And when war started, the company promised that they won't like fire anyone from the Ukraine, no matter what's happening. And the process of further career growth was also stopped. But I hope that it will continue and we will have more opportunities.
Okay. So, and you mentioned that you had an experience to interview other people. What was
Yeah.
what was that?
So in our company, there are several types of interview. One of them is interview for problem solving. Typically, we are given some Olympiad task from programming Olympiads to the candidate,
Mhm.
and they try to solve it. As I had a lot of experience in it, I am uh, performing one of such interviews.
Mhm. Yeah, I read in your CV about such experience. That was very interesting. Thank you. Uh, Okay, so, and I will ask you also some general questions, and it would be interesting to hear your answers or replies. So the first one is, what's your professional development plan? For example, for the next 5 years, professional development plan. So who is ready to answer? So you may start, and then other participants will continue.
I think I can start.
Mhm. Okay.
I'm already working as product manager in IT companies for almost 2 years.
Mhm.
And I think that it's the most suitable job for me because it contains lots of working with analytics, with some design tasks, and also it's very interesting because it has like social tasks also because I'm working a lot with other people. It's my teammates, like developers, designers,
Mhm.
analytics team, and also I'm working a lot with other people. It's users of products I develop.
Mhm.
For example, I have like almost every week I have some interviews with users of my apps,
Mhm.
and it's very interesting to share, to understand their experience, to work with them, to speak with them. And I believe that product management is something really interesting for me. It may be the best career path as for me. And now I have like a middle title, and I believe that in 5 years I'll become a head of some products in, I think, international company maybe, or in some big Ukrainian companies, or maybe even CPO. It's like chief product officer, the like head of products in a company, and head of like manager of other product managers. I believe that it's like the best and the most probable like career path.
I see. Okay, so nice plan, and I hope it will come true. And especially important and vital that you like what you do. So if you love what you do, you will never work. Yeah. Okay, thank you. What about others? So your professional development plan for the next 5 years. Denise, Adalbert.
Maybe I can add some more.
Okay, okay.
Because maybe our men's, they need some time to present themselves. Okay, so one more interesting thing about career plans. I think it's not only for me, even for Dima, Archie, and Denise, is to study all the time, because there are a lot of professional courses as for product managers, as for analytics, as for developers, of course, because new technologies, they come to our lives every years, like market research, like markets, they are always grows. There are a lot of different things in our world that change the markets, and we need to be like to all the time in time, you know.
Yeah,
Study or new
to date. Yeah,
technologies.
up to date.
Yeah.
I understand what you mean. Yeah, sure. It's very important, especially in rapid development of technologies, and you need to get more and more new skills. Okay, right, John. Thank you very much. So, guys, what about you? Do you have any plan about your professional development?
I don't have big plans in my career for the next 5 years. I'm focused on other spheres of my life.
Okay. So stable work is okay. Yeah, sustainable work.
Yeah.
Okay. Denise, what about you? Okay, it's very loud, but I think I could catch what you mentioned. So what about Dima? Do you have any plan?
Well, for the next 2 years, I plan to study, and so that I don't have the exact planning of my future career yet.
So firstly, you will get the knowledge, and after that you are going to apply, yeah, your knowledge into practice. Okay, what's your work style, Maria?
What do you mean by work style?
I mean, so whether you like to work according to the timetable, or maybe you are free to choose the time, the most productive time for yourself. How many hours are you are productive during the day? And whether you go to the office or work remotely, whether you prefer to work independently or with team. This question, all the questions include work style.
Okay, let me start from like the fact that I'm working remotely.
Mhm,
I have possibility to go to like co-working office
mhm,
in Kiev, but there are none of my teammates there
mhm,
because my team is almost in like Warsaw and Portugal now.
mhm,
Some of them are in Ukraine, but not in Kiev. And it's hard for us to work in the same place, so we are working remotely. The fact that our team is like all over the Europe makes us find the best times for meetings. It's like from 11 to 6 p.m. 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's the time when we are working because we need to make lots of meetings during the work because, as I tell you previously, I'm working as product manager, and
mhm,
as product manager, I worked a lot with designers, with analytics, with developers, of course,
mhm.
with content managers, and almost every day I have from 1 to 3 or 4 hours of meetings, and
Okay.
we try to find the best time for them, like from 11 to 8 p.m. But
Mhm,
as for me, I'm absolutely a morning person, and
mhm,
the most productivity time for me is in the morning, like maybe from 10 to 12 a.m. And I'm
mhm.
trying to make all the most like uh, serious tasks in that
Mhm,
time, and like the main meetings are also in the morning for me. It's the best time for me to understand my colleagues in the best way and to present my thoughts also. My official working hours are like 8 hours a day, but
mhm.
to be honest, no one in IT works like 8 hours because of stressful work, and because almost every of my tasks they are not like time limited, and it's hard to predict time for every task because work depends on other people also. I think I'm working like 6 productivity hours a day, 5 to 6 productivity hours a day, but officially it's 8.
Okay, I see. Mhm. And one more question, Maria. Have you ever been at a crossroad?
What do you mean by this question?
На роздоріжжі, коли треба було прийняти важливе рішення. To be at a crossroad, it's collocation means бути на роздоріжжі.
Yeah, of course. I had such questions when, some months ago, because I choose to change my job place,
Мгм,
and it was hard for me because of like there is a war in Ukraine, and it's hard to change a job now because I was like on previous place I was sure that everything will be okay. I wouldn't be fired from that place, and for me, but it was
мгм,
really I had really toxic team, and it was hard for me to work there. Productivity, I didn't like my job at all, and I wanted to change it. And there was my crossroad. I choose to change job place, and it was like fantastic decision. I really like it, and I hope that I'll stay in my
мгм.
current job place for like more than a year or 2 years.
Okay, again, some problems with internet connection because I'm on my mobile internet and it's also unstable because we don't have any light. Sorry for that, Maria. Sorry for the interruption.
Yeah, we can hear you now. It's easy for us to understand the problems with mobile internet because when we do not have light, like everybody around try to use mobile internet.
Yeah. Mhm. Okay, thank you. Dima, what about you? What's your work style? And do you prefer to work in the morning or in the evening time? So the most productive time for you and how you use this time?
Well, I consider that morning is the most productive time for different conversations or meetings for me. It's easier for me to communicate with people in this part of the day, but in the evening, it's better to do some, I don't know, some work alone. So a project or
Prefer to work alone, yes, not in a
not alone, but I feel myself. I prefer to work with a team in the morning because I am full of
okay.
force, and it's easier for me to communicate with people during the first part of the day. But in the evening, I am more productive when I work alone on my own projects.
Mhm. Okay. And about crossroad, have you ever been at a crossroad?
Uh, in the career, I mean, yeah.
No, in any life situation, not obligatory career, because I know you're not working, but in any life situation.
Well, I consider that the main crossroad in my life now it's the choose of university after the 11th form, and I have chosen the IT sphere.
Okay. So, was it your own decision or someone helped you to choose?
Uh, well, it mostly was my own decision, but I have consulted with different people about specialities, and that influenced my specialty choose
Choice. Okay.
choice.
Thank you. So, Adalbert, can you describe your work style?
Sure. I prefer working in small teams, like 2 or 3 people. In my experience, if the team is bigger, then it became a mess, and it is very hard to communicate and to uh, choose one decision.
Mhm.
And also, it is hard to work alone because you don't have any support. And when several people discovering the field, they can find interesting things. And also, probably I prefer working at the evening because at the morning I have classes at the university, and in
Mhm.
general, I'm more productive in the evenings.
Mhm. Okay. So you work remotely, right?
Uh, I can work remotely, but we have an office in the Kiev,
Mhm.
and I prefer going here because here is free food and coffee, tea, and
Okay.
working atmosphere.
I see. Okay, so and what about more advantages of working from office, except food and coffee?
Well, at the moment, the big advantage is here we have stable electricity and internet. Uh,
Uh-huh.
I don't know
Really?
why. Probably it's because the office is nearby to the underground.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a
and
big deal nowadays. I see. Okay.
I can share some more experience about working why to work in office is a good idea now.
Uh-huh. Okay. It's interesting
Because
to listen
in
to.
my previous company, we worked at office almost all the time, except like when somebody from the team had COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And when the war started, me and some of my teammates, we were located in Ivano-Frankivsk city
Mm-hmm.
and found like a small office in Ivano-Frankivsk and choose to go there like in April and May
Mm-hmm.
because it's much easier to work productively when you do not have like your any of your home tasks
Yeah.
around you. Because me, for
Right.
example, yeah, I had a cat
Mm-hmm.
and she really likes to go across my camera when I'm on meetings. She wants to play almost all the day, and like tigidix from
Uh-huh.
are a little bit noisy
Yeah.
as for meetings, and it's easy like to go to work from office to be more productivity because
Mm-hmm.
you think only about your work
Yeah.
tasks.
No
And also, of course,
distraction. Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
and as Adalbert said, he works with teammates,
Mm-hmm.
and when you are in office, it's much easier to communicate because you can just go to your teammate table and ask the question you want to know the answer. You do not need to wait for some hours
Mm-hmm.
when your teammate would like would read your question and other things.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I do agree that working from office is more productive, easy to communicate, no distractions. Like if you are at home, so you know that you can do some home housework, yeah, and then again come back to work. So your day is interrupted, and at the end of the day you sometimes realize that it was not so productive and some questions are not solved uh, because you need to be so motivated, right, to work from home and without interrupting by somebody or something, and you need to be very responsible at this time.
Yeah, but also there are like this all works only for good offices, for
Mm,
smart offices. Because if your office is only like a white room with three tables,
yeah,
you would not have you would not have motivation to go there. Because
yeah.
in my company, and as I know, Archie, he also have really cool office place.
Mm-hmm.
We had like lots of fresh fruits in office. We had lots of meeting rooms where you can book them and go there for a meeting. Or for example, if you have a lesson in university, you can also choose meeting rooms where nobody else can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
And the office was really comfortable. We also had like free food, like dinners and breakfasts in office, and it was really like useful.
It's
And
when the company takes care about its employees, it's cool and really highly appreciated by employees. Denise, what about you? Describe your work style, please. Mm, mm, Mhm. 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 Okay. And have you ever been at a crossroad? Mhm. Mhm. Okay, thank you. So one more question. Can you tell about three things you can't do but would like to? I mean, all students who is ready to answer can start. Three things you can't do but would like to.
Are we talking about job things or any?
Preferably, it should be job about job, but you can mention also maybe any life skills. So three things you would like to.
My answer.
Yes, sure.
Um, the first thing I would like to return in the time and go to the UKU, Ukrainian Catholic University.
Mhm.
I guess it gives much better educational experience. The second thing, I would like to travel to other countries and probably travel to Seattle to the main office of my company, but now I can't do this.
Mhm.
And the third thing, we have one project in the job which is written very badly, but which is very important. And I would like to rewrite it from the scratch, but it will require more resources than I have.
Mhm. Okay, thank you. Mhm. What about others? Three things you can't do but would like to. Dima, do
Okay, I can
okay.
continue. I'm not sure
Mhm.
about three things, but I can tell you about two.
Mhm.
The first one is not like I think I want to, but I can't. I can't do it for now, but it's one of my goals,
Mhm.
and I'm working on it. It's to speak fluently in English.
Mhm.
I'm continue like uh, I have a lot of experience with English classes and courses, but I want to work hardly to achieve my goal to have like an advanced English level.
Mhm.
I need it for work. I also need it like in my real life because I travel a lot, and in Europe, almost everybody in every country they can understand English, and English is of course an international language.
Mhm.
And I believe that after like having an advanced English level, I can start to learn maybe some more languages, maybe Spanish or Portuguese,
Mhm.
because they're beautiful. And I would like to have like, for example, basic level on them because it's just interesting.
Mhm.
And the second one is also about job, because now I'm working in a company with like uh, 20 vacation days a year. But I know that there are a lot of companies, they have like, for example, 4 working days in a week, or they have like a free vacation schedule.
Mhm.
And because I travel a lot, because of the reasons that I travel a lot, I would like to have like a free schedule, because it would be really cool for me that, for example, I can skip some Mondays
Mhm.
as well. And I believe that I can like work productively, even if I like made the same uh, working tasks, same level of working tasks, or same number of working tasks in, for example, 4 days except 5 days. It would be cool, and I think it's like not possibly for me now, but maybe a reality in some years.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, it's a good goal and very useful. Denis, what about you? Mhm. Mhm. Okay, exact goals and the reason why to do, yeah? So before starting anything, we have to answer 3 questions. Yes, what do you do? Why do you do? And what for do you do? What are the perspectives of this activity, right? Okay, thank you. Interesting. Dima, what about you?
Well, I can't name 3 things I would like to uh, get get, but I really wanted to increase my planning skills, because I see now some problems with my timetable, and that I spend sometimes too much of my time on some really unnecessary
Mhm.
issues,
Yeah.
so that I would like to improve this part to continue my further way.
Mhm. So time management, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. So you said you could mention 2 things.
No, no.
One.
One.
One. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, and can you talk about 3 people who have influenced your life? One more question. 3.
Sorry, we can't hear you.
Блін, а яке питання було, то вона його сказала, але я просто прослухала.
3 людей, які вплинули на твоє життя.
Моя мама, мій тато і пан президент Порошенко. Відкрив кордони. Арті, що це за лайк?
Це за президента.
Блін.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, no, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry. So tell about 2 people who have influenced your life. And in which way?
It's like a question from school times. When teachers asked about who is the main like superhero from your real life.
Maybe in professional development might be better to say someone who taught you, give you knowledge or give you the way, who gives you the way, or maybe a person you would like to be like, ideal character, and not about unreal person, but real person in your life.
Okay, as for me, I had an experience before starting working as a project manager. I was in like IT school in one of Ukrainian companies. We had like 2 months of different lectures from like CEOs and head of products and head of marketers from the company. They tell us about like professional tools for product managers, for marketing, and some other things. And some of them, they had really inspiring job story. For example, they started working like in 20s, and in 25 start to work as CEOs from for their own products. Like they found they get invested for like thousands of dollars for their own project, and it's really inspiring that you can start something really cool, some cool project or product when you're so young. And it's inspiring that it's possible in Ukraine to become like a CEO for a international company starting in Kiev.
Sure. So it's motivational, yeah, to hear the stories of really successful people. And my friend told me that he had watched the stories of successful people on YouTube channel, and they also motivated him to develop his own business, to be more successful and decisive. So that's why I do agree with you when you have an example of people who got success in a very short period of time.
Yeah, and being honest, it's easily to motivate by them because they're real people. You know that they also had fuck ups in their like working story. For example, they had unsuccessful startup before success one, and other things. And you also know that they're real person. They work. They talk to you like had a conversation. Maybe you know that you can write to them and get some answers for your questions. And it's much more motivated than, as for me, than reading about success story of Steve Jobs, for example.
Yeah.
Just because it's real persons, you know them, you know that they start from like from zero and a good university behind them, for example. But from zero in money, I mean, they get
Yeah, I
motivations
understand.
from other people and other companies, not from their parents, for example.
Okay, yeah. Adalbert, any people influenced your life?
I guess my mom influenced my life and my career a lot because when I was small, I was watching on her, and she worked in 3 jobs, and she was very hardworking. And now I'm trying to copy a lot of her behavior. Also, I think my trainer in Olympiads influenced me a lot. He gave a lot of his time to learn me how to write code and how to solve tasks. And the third person is my first mentor at the job. Uh, when I started working here, I didn't have any experience, and my knowledge of English was really awful. And he talked only in English, and somehow he taught me how to develop a good products. And he inspires me, and I very like uh, the way in which he did his job.
Okay, thank you. Really inspiring stories. And Denise, what about you? Mhm. Okay, that's great. You've got 3 people who inspire you. Thank you. So, and speaking about your fascinated life, imagine that money and image are not the objects, so they are not important at all. What job would you choose then? Would you choose the same as you are, or you would do something else? If money and image are not an object, would you do the same job, or you would rather try something else? And if yes, then what would it be?
My answer?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, in such case, I would not like to work on one job. Probably I would change the job like every month. I like what I'm doing now. I love to write programs and to find solution for problems. So probably I would do this sometimes. Also, I like to draw, so probably I would travel around the world and draw beautiful pictures. And
Mhm.
also, I like to organize events in the Christians community. So I would volunteer in such places.
Mhm. Wow, by the way, it's a great idea to change the positions and to find yourself in what is the most important and interesting and the most useful for you. Yeah. If you have a chance to try everything, then you make a decision what is the best for you. Good idea. Thank you.
I can continue.
Mm-hmm.
As a child, I wanted to be a florist and work with flowers.
Uh-huh.
And for example, for last 12 years, one of my hobbies is drawing. I made arts with oil paintings, and
Mm-hmm.
I believe that I'm really good in it.
Mm-hmm.
But being an artist now is like to be a hungry person for all the time. I believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to become like a popular artist, for example, to sell your paints for normal price.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're talking about a job where like money doesn't matter, I had a second bachelor's diploma as a teacher, math teacher,
Mm-hmm.
as an informatics teacher. And if money wouldn't matter, I would be a teacher in a school and teach child, like try to teach math for child
Mm-hmm.
for children, and because I really like it. I had an experience as a math teacher in private schools and for Olympiad math classes. I really like it, and I know that children likes me as a teacher. But for me, it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to go like work in school and get a really low salary
Yeah.
because I can't imagine that I can, for example, travel around the world with teacher salary.
Yeah.
But also, I believe that, for example, when I will be like 30 years, maybe, I will have enough like passive money or money from my own business to start
Mhm.
working, for example, as a teacher. Like maybe it's like a hobby
Yeah.
when you don't need like money from your job,
Mhm.
then I would really like to work as a teacher, maybe even in some like small school in the village, for example, or in some good schools like gymnasiums. I really like it, and I would like this to be a reality one.
Wow, great. Yeah, you mentioned the correct things. Unfortunately, it's very hard to save money for traveling if you are a teacher, and it's rather a hobby than a real job. Yeah, unfortunately. Denise, what about you? Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Because I can't hear Denise, unfortunately.
We also heard his story. He told us that he wouldn't need any money.
Yeah, I heard about traveling and I heard about the current job you would like to continue. So, but maybe the last, okay. Okay, so, and the last question. Um, Imagine that you are applying for a dream job you've ever could imagine. And the question from the HR manager, why should I take a risk on you, but not other applicants? What would you say in this case? So the question, why should I take a risk on you if you are applying for a dream job, yeah, and you want it so much? So could you hear the question?
Yeah, we're trying to understand it. And to find a good answer for it.
Mhm. So why should I take a risk on you? So not other applicants, but you are the best person for this position you are dreaming about. So what would you say in this case?
My answer,
Mm-hmm.
um, I would say that I am a kind of person that is able to solve any problem, no matter what, and work hard to get the job done.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
As for me, I would talk about my skills and my previous achievements,
Mm-hmm.
about like relevant job tasks
Mm-hmm.
to prove that I'm a good candidate for this job position.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. Achievements also important. Mm-hmm. Denise, and you? And she will regret, yeah? Okay. Yeah, you will show your self-confidence. So it's also might be motivation for the HR manager to hire you, but not somebody else. Okay, thank you very much for the interview and for your really interesting answers and sharing your experience. And I hope that your career development will meet your expectations and maybe more than that. And hope to see you next week. Thanks for the lesson and take care of yourself. First of all, stay safe and goodbye. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for lesson. Bye.
You too. Thank you.